Ladies and gentlemen, gather around, because today we've got a tale that's even juicier than a Gatsby loaded with extra sauce from Nando's. Yes, we're diving into the latest episode of As Parliament Turns, starring none other than the Commander-in-Chief of Controversy himself, the leader of your favorite party, Mr. Julius Malema. Picture this, it's 2021 and our man Juju is sitting on the Judicial Service Commission, JSC, the body responsible for interviewing and recommending judges. Right? Now, one of these interviews, Malema decides to channel his inner detective and grills Judge Elias Matojane about a 500,000 rand defamation ruling the judge had previously made against the EFF in the favor of former Finance Minister Trevor Manuel. Remember him? Now, for those keeping score at home, that's like asking the referee why he gave your team a red card during the halftime interview. Bold move, isn't it? Now, enter the Parliament's Joint Committee on Ethics and Members' Interests. They took one look at Malema's courtroom drama reenactment. One, and said, hold up, that's a foul. Their beef, they believed Malema was using the JSC as a personal soapbox, turning a professional setting into an EFF rally. So the committee concluded that this was a breach of the Parliamentary Code of Conduct, as Malema was mixing personal and political interests with official duties, and their recommendation, a public apology to both Judge Matojane and the JSC. Essentially, they wanted Juju to say my bad in front of the whole class. But if you thought Malema would take this lying down, you haven't been paying attention for the past 30 years. Our guy does not back down for a fight, he doubles down. Malema launched an urgent court bid to halt Parliament's decision, arguing that the committee's findings were flawed, and that he was merely fulfilling his duties as a JSC member. It's the classic I was just doing my job defense with a sprinkle of they're out to get me. Malema always does that, you should know. Now it's May 2025 and the Western Cape High Court has delivered its verdict. Drum roll please. They dismissed Malema's application and upheld the Parliament's order. Translation, Malema has to issue that public apology. He has to apologize. That's right, folks. The man who once said he'd never apologize is now being told, say you're sorry. Now let's marinate on this for a second. Malema has danced on the line of controversy more times than we can count. Remember when he belted out Tubuli Bunu, shoot the poor, and defended it as a part of the struggle's heritage.
Shoot to kill, Hamaza, kill the poor, the farmer.
Or when he made comments that many interpreted as racially charged, yet faced nothing, no legal repercussions, nothing. Yet here we are, watching him being compelled to apologize, not for those headline-grabbing moments, but for a question posed during a job interview. Oh, the sweet, sweet irony. But let's not get lost in that sauce. This isn't just about forcing Malema to eat a slice of humble pie, it's about the principle. Public officials are expected to separate their personal vendettas from their professional responsibilities. The integrity of institutions like the JSC relies on members acting impartially, not using the reform to settle scores or push party agendas. Let's be real here. This whole Malema must apologize story is shocking, not because he's being told to apologize, but because it actually went this far. Like, think about it. Julius Malema, the guy who's practically made a career out of controversial statements, defiance, and fire starts in politics, is basically being held accountable. For this? That's like watching a kid rob the tuck shop, slap the teacher, light the classroom on fire, and then finally get detention for not wearing school shoes properly. You're happy there's finally consequences, yes, but you're also staring like, how? So that's what did it? This moment is a harsh, glaring reminder of just how Julius Malema can get away with things, and how long he's been skating past real consequences in South African politics. We are talking about a man who stood on stages in Parliament and on TV, openly stirring division, making wild accusations, and engaging in behavior that would have most politicians, let alone citizens around the world, thrown out faster than you can say economic freedom.
We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not?
But here in Mzansi, here he thrives. He flourishes. He even glows. Malema walks through controversy like he's got an invisibility cloak made of struggle credentials and courtroom charisma. Let's do a quick highlight reel, shall we? He sings songs about killing white people. No worries, it's just a heritage song. Okay. He makes statements that many consider hate speech. It's context. He marches to click stores with hundreds of people to fight shampoo racism. And things break, people get injured, chaos erupts. No, that's just passion. He literally told supporters to occupy land. Land or death, he once shouted. Illegal? Sure. Dangerous? Absolutely. But the consequences? Crickets. Remember when he insulted an Indian journalist and called him a bloody agent? You want to know what happened? Nothing. We barely blinked. You don't even know that happened. That's how much it was brushed under the rug. His love-hate relationship with the Constitution, his endless accusations of racism, and how quick is he to call everyone who disagrees with him a puppet of white monopoly capital. You'd think someone so obsessed with calling out racism would at least be a little cautious about being racist himself. But no, hell no. Somehow Malema's racism is justified, understandable, or strategic. Let's not forget the violence rhetoric either. I mean, how many times has the EFF been involved in physical altercations? Both inside and outside Parliament, from storming the podium during the State of the Nation address to disrupting proceedings with chants, insults, and walkouts. It's WWE for the EFF, not something formal. It's never something formal when it comes to the EFF because they're always going to grab the headlines. They're always going to control the news cycle. They're always going to collect a government salary paid by the same taxpayers he often accuses of being colonialists. If hypocrisy had a face, it would be plastered with red beret emojis and a sly grin. So when this apology ruling dropped, it wasn't a wow, he went too far. It was more of a wow, they finally decided to act. Because that's the real headline. Finally, Malema has to apologize for something. I get it, Malema is charismatic. He speaks like a preacher who swapped the Bible for Karl Marx. He's quick, he's witty, and commands a room like a war general. I take notes from that guy. He's got street cred, the struggle legacy, and the fearlessness that so many admire in South Africa's political culture. But that fearlessness, it's been weaponized. He uses it to intimidate, manipulate, and bulldoze anyone who dares to question him, and that's dangerous. Because when you create a space where one person gets to say anything and everything without any consequences, you open the door to tyranny and not freedom. This ruling wasn't just about Ujaj Matojane. It wasn't just about the JSC or the Code of Conduct. It was a small flickering sign that maybe, just maybe, the system can do something. That accountability isn't completely dead, that even Julius Malema, the unbreakable, untouchable political firebrand, has to face the music once in a while. But let's not fool ourselves either. He's not shaking in his boots. He's not lying awake at night regretting his actions. Actually, he sleeps like a baby. He has more security than you. He has the same smirk he wears during press conferences right now. He'll probably flip it into another PR moment. They are scared of me, he'll say. I'm too powerful, and that's why they are doing this. And many of his followers, that's exactly what they'll believe. Because the problem isn't just Malema, it's that the bar has been set so low in our politics that even the smallest moment of accountability feels like a miracle. We've allowed outrageous behavior to become so normalized, so part of the brand, that we're now begging for crumbs of responsibility like dogs. He's the only politician who could say kill the Boer one week and then speak about nation building the next. He'll insult Indian people and still claim to be fighting for unity. He's gonna bash the constitution in one breath and hide it behind the moment someone tries to challenge him. It's insane. And then he'll say they're trying to cancel me. Let's be real, if any other politician did half of what Malema has done, their careers would be finished, over, dead. If Steenhuisen said half the things Malema says, but in reverse, cancelled. If Helen Zille tweeted half the words Malema account posts, she would be deplatformed. If Cyril said something like, let's go for the slaughter of white people, oh my word, the man would be exiled into a remote village in Limpopo and forced to teach grade 4 English with no chalk. But Malema, nah, he's fine. He's the special one. What's wrong with him? He's the one coated with gold, right? And we need to ask ourselves, why is that? Why have we created a system where one person, just one man, can continuously insult, threaten, disrupt, and divide and still be treated like a legitimate voice for the people? Is it fear? Is it admiration? Is it just good old-fashioned political cowardice? Maybe it's all of it. So yes, the ruling is great. This ruling is great. It's a rare win for ethics. Yes, it's a rare L for Julius. But don't let it fool you. He still gets away with far too much. And until a system grows a backbone, until the public stops celebrating outrage and racism as leadership, and until more people stop being afraid of being called racist just for holding Malema accountable, he'll keep getting away with it. This apology might be a start, but it's far from justice, it's far from redemption, and it's far from enough. Because if justice really mattered in this country the way it should, Malema would have been apologizing many, many years ago, and not just for one judge, but for everything. Here's the part that makes this whole thing even more frustrating. Malema doesn't just get away with all of this because he's bold or loud, nah. He gets away with it because of who he is, his status, his name, his position as the face of the EFF. If a regular nameless EFF supporter had said things he does, stormed into courtrooms insulting judges, singing "Kill the Boer" in a room full of cameras, they'd be gone, fired, arrested, investigated, suspended, cancelled, whatever you can think of, it would have happened yesterday. But Julius is special. Julius gets a press briefing. That's the power of status in South Africa. It's all about the connections, isn't it? There's a political hierarchy, isn't there? Whether we want to admit it or not. And Malema is sitting right at the top of it next to Cyril. Untouched, untouchable, and somehow still seen as many as the voice of the voiceless. I'm the voice of the voiceless, not someone who sings about killing white people. He should be behind bars for saying such things. But the average EFF supporter can't just waltz into parliament in red overalls and insult Cyril, Pravin Gordhan, or the entire ANC cabinet. What makes him so special? The average EFF supporter can't tell the judiciary that they're corrupt agents of white monopoly capital without getting slapped with legal consequences. The average EFF supporter can't even block a road in protest without risking rubber bullets, tear gas, or arrest. But Julius, he does all of that and still makes it to the next media interview like he's just clocked out of a day job. And the worst part is he knows it. He knows exactly how much power he holds. He knows how to weaponize victimhood, flip the narrative, cry foul, and spin it every scandal into a "they're afraid of me" speech. He's built a bulletproof persona, not because he's legally protected, but because he's socially untouchable. He's trademarked rebellion, packaged it as justice, and then sells it as gospel to his supporters. It's sick. But the minute you aren't Julius, the rules change. Suddenly you are a public nuisance, a threat to democracy, or fueling division. So when people say, oh, he's just expressing political freedom, just remember, you can't do what he does. Your cousin in the township can't do it. Your angry neighbor? Nope. Your average university activist? Probably not. The system would eat them alive. But Julius, he thrives in it and makes money. And until South Africa builds a system where status doesn't equal immunity, people like Malema will keep doing what they want, and the rest of us will keep paying for it. So in a political landscape where apologies are as rare as a taxi driver admitting it's his fault for the accident, this development is significant. It sends a message that even the most vocal and influential figures aren't above accountability. Whether you're Team Malema or not, it's a reminder that the rules apply to everyone. I don't care what car you drive. The rules are rules. So what's the takeaway from this political potboiler? Julius Malema, a man known for his fiery rhetoric and defiant stance, is being told to do something he's famously resisted. Apologize. Whether he delivers this apology with genuine remorse or with the enthusiasm of a teenager forced to say sorry to their sibling remains to be seen. But one thing is for sure. In the ever-entertaining world of South Africa, there's never a dull moment. So grab your popcorn, stay tuned, and remember, sometimes even the loudest voices have to whisper an apology. Thank you, Summer Sambit followers, for tuning in to this roller coaster of a political update. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and maybe keep a tally of how many times apology and Malema appear in the same sentence. It's a collector's system, really. This is the Summer Sambit, and like always, I'll see you next time.